If y'all don't have those kind of relationships where your relationship is like gotten so in secret and you have all these secrets, so I think that is a dangerous place to be, because it might bond you to someone that's actually not supposed to be your forever person, and you might feel like he has to be because he knows all this stuff or because we are in this together. And any secrecy should not be the reason that you're staying in a relationship. And so I definitely think you want to be open. You don't want to have secrets. That's just really important.
So like I said, to wrap that up, I just think a great green flag in dating, whether it's you're in the same town or if it's long distance, I think community is just a big deal, and knowing that you can trust this person, friends, that they have your best interest too, and that he is, confessing things to his friends. He's involved in the church. So I think those are it's the biggest green flag for me.
It's great, babe. I love it. What is something people never talk about in marriage that you wish was talked about more? We were kind of talking about this morning because we read through some of these questions, and I was saying, like, I think we in our community do this very well and naturally. I just don't think it's very normal for the outside world. It's just to confess sin, like to be honest, to admit struggles. I think, it's so helpful whenever you're around other married couples and you're just honest. And even like you're going to have an argument and it's not the end of the world. Like, people can trust and know that you love each other, and it's okay that one little thing might have made you mad and you move on, and for just people around you to be for your relationship, for people around you to know what you're walking through and believe with you and pray with you and speak life into you. Like, community is so important in marriage, in my opinion. And I think when you get married and you start having kids, it's very hard to keep community because it's so crazy. Like, when our friend group gets together right now, there's so many kids that it's just like you can hardly talk, but I think it's still worth it, I mean, I know it's still worth it. Like, it's still worth the intentionality. It's still worth getting together. We're all getting together this weekend, and it's going to be wild because there's going to be way more kids than adults. But like, we need that, we need to see each other. We need to help each other through it. And so I wish it was just talked about more, like the power of community and admitting when you're going through something, not being ashamed of it. I actually heard someone tell me recently that my parents' relationship has helped them so much in their marriage, because when you look at my parents' relationship, it's easy to think like, oh, wow, like what a perfect couple. They've been married for so long. They have this amazing family. But my mom and dad will be the first to admit, like, they have struggles. They've had struggles. Of course they have. They've been married for so many years. And it was one of her friends telling me this. And she said, their marriage has impacted me so much to see that you can go through hard things and you can have these little struggles and you can still have a great marriage. And so I think because of social media, sometimes you think like, oh, for a great marriage to be great, it has to be perfect, has to look this way. Your husband has to do all these things for you. You have to be this perfect wife. And that's just not realistic. You can actually have a great marriage and also have some bumps in the road.
Yeah, I think even like, you talked about community. I think communication is huge. I mean, the amount of times, and this is not to like throw shade or anything, but it's kind of funny just because I feel like we just like overly share and like overly communicate, because the amount of times I'll be talking to a guy friend or just a guy that I know or something, and I'll know that their spouse knows something, and I'll say something, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like, do you and your wife, like, do y'all not talk about stuff? Like, it'd be things like that. So, and then for us, it's like, we just tell each other everything and just always talk about stuff. So I think that's something for me of just communication.
It's
and
great.
Just talking things out.
I love that. And that's actually funny. You keep segueing so nicely to my next question.
Wow.
Someone said, how do you handle when your friend asks you to keep a secret from your husband?
And you just kind of talked about no secrecy.
Yes. And I will say, though, because I have had this situation happen to me several times where a friend will be like, don't tell anybody, like, please don't tell Christian or whatever. And that's because they're walking through something. And there are certain things. Let me phrase this. There are certain things where it's like, okay, I get that. Christian doesn't need to know you're pregnant or you're whatever, But then there are other things where I'll just say to them, hey, I'm actually going to need to tell Christian that, or are you okay if I actually tell Christian that? Because that's going to be really hard for me to keep from him or whatever. And so I think you have to be honest with your friend too when it's something that you would like to share with your husband. He is your husband after all. Like, if you can be honest and they can give you that permission, I think that's great. Just talk it out in that moment. Or you can even say before they say it, like, hey, I love you. If this is something that my husband doesn't need to know and it has to do with anything that he needs to know, then our relationship is very open. I'd love to talk to him about it. Or if it's like, okay, if it's just a girl chat, he doesn't need to know, it's irrelevant. Absolutely. I will keep that secret for you. That goes in the vault. And so I do think there are times where you should just be honest with your friend and just be like, hey, actually, the way our marriage is like we're very open and I'd like to talk to him about this. Or I totally get it. Vault. He doesn't need to know that.
But if it's ever like, hey, can I tell you a secret? Like, Christian's just the worst, but don't tell him I said that.
Then it's like, I'm probably going to tell him
yeah,
because we need to work through that.